What do you have to say?
This!
What do you deserve?
I deserve this.
You deserve all of it. Everything. You deserve this. She belongs.
You serious?
Wokeism makes you lose, ruins your mind, and ruins you as a person. The U.S. women's soccer team is a very good example of what's going on.
This one ended, but the fight to get there all the way to PKs and obviously not going your way in the end.
Yeah, I thought we played really well. I'm so happy for us that we went out like that, playing the way that we did and, having a ton of joy on the ball. This is like a sick joke. For me personally, I'm just like, this is dark comedy. I missed a penalty. Alyssa came up huge, though, kept us in it, obviously scoring one herself. This is the balance to the beautiful side of the game. I think it can be cruel and just not our day. But, yeah, I still just feel really grateful and joyful. And, I know it's the end and that's sad, but...
Man, some people say this was expected. Some people say it was unexpected. I think it was expected. I think that people who focus on wokeism, people who focus on their ego and just talking about stuff like equal pay to the men when you don't even draw nowhere near as many people. Someone who is talking about, oh yeah, we should let the trans women come into the women's space in terms of sports, who effectively she's being anti-woman when she says that. She's focused on all those things instead of actually focusing on the game itself, focusing on her game, focusing on not just physically, mentally, preparing for her opponents, preparing for the big game. If she focused on that instead of all those other things that she's been focusing on for the last 4 to 5 years, maybe she'd still be in the tournament. Maybe the U.S. soccer team, the U.S. women's soccer team, would still be in it. But no, she's not. She's out. And she's going to retire because this was her last game, and she announced her retirement before the cup started. She's 38 years old. She's done. That's it. That's the end. That's the end. And you see all these other news articles, publications, the New York Times, the Washington Post, USA Today, they're all defending her, but really she brought it on herself. Post Millennial breaking: US out of World Cup contention after Megan Rapinoe misses penalty kick. I'm not going to read everything here, just going to highlight some of this. The U.S. women's soccer team was heavily favored to win the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup, but under the team captain Megan Rapinoe, the ladies' dreams of victory have been dashed. The U.S. was a 2-time defending champion, as you saw in the first clip. That was the 2019 championship that they won. It's not going to happen again. It's over. England is now the favorite to win the cup. The U.S. lost in the last 16 round in a 5-4 shootout against Sweden, who now moves on in the tournament. Rapinoe, who fought for the women's team to get equal pay to the men's team despite not being as popular or profitable. Big difference there. Big difference there. That's why, Megan, not because of anything else, you're not as popular and you're not as profitable. Point blank, simple, right there. And who has spoken against her own country, her own home country. How do you get people behind you, Megan, if you're dissing America? You're supposed to represent America, and you diss the flag, you diss the anthem, you kneel before. What are you doing? This is exactly why people aren't watching you. You're doing the disservice to the women's soccer team. A disservice. I'm sure women on your team are glad you're gone. Some of them are on your side, but some of them, I'm sure they're glad you're gone. Missed a penalty kick during overtime. As she walked away from the field after the miss, she could be seen smirking, a look that struck many fans as inappropriate. Yes, it was. You saw the clip. She was totally inappropriate there. It goes on to say she was praised as a radical individualist who compulsively draws attention to herself. Yeah, she was just all about her, the ego. It's like this is dark comedy. I missed a penalty. This is the balance to the beautiful side of the game. Well, you lost. I feel really grateful and joyful, and no, this is the end, and this is sad. This is the only time I have been in one of these, losing on penalties at a World Cup. It has been an honor. Really? And so if you go down, she says, what's the thing? She says one thing here. Megan has been an unpopular team captain with U.S. fans as the World Cup kicked off. She spoke out in favor of Ben being allowed to play in women's sports teams, saying, "I see trans women as real women." Are you serious? Are you kidding me? How does this work? Are you kidding me? That is false. That is completely false. Completely false. She's ridiculous. She's anti-woman. She's anti-woman. It's like, oh, now we care about fairness. Now we care about women's sports. That's total BS. Show me all the trans people who are nefariously taking advantage of being trans in sports. It's just not happening. You've been living under a rock, honey. You've been living under a rock. It's been happening in high school, in colleges, in you name it. All these men just putting on a dress and saying their 5 o'clock shadow and saying, "Oh, I'm a woman now," and dominating your space. That's why I say you're anti-woman. You're being dominated by these men who just couldn't cut it in their space. So they're entering your space and breaking records, getting the gold, when actual women who have spent years practicing, years preparing, years putting their time, giving up sacrifice after sacrifice, they get passed up because a man says, "Oh, okay, I'm Jill now, and I'm entering the space, and I can swim." This 6'3", 250-pound guy walking in high heels and looking like a linebacker is coming into your space and dominating, and you have the gall to say that it's just not happening. Unbelievable. And so President Donald J. Trump, of course, has something to say about it. Enter Donald J. Trump. His comments: "Nice shot, Megan." Donald J. Trump shreds Megan Rapinoe after epic failure at FIFA World Cup. Former President Donald J. Trump slammed Megan Rapinoe for missing a penalty kick in overtime, losing a chance at the FIFA World Cup for the U.S. women's national soccer team. Rapinoe, 38. She's done. She's retiring. This is it. She announced her retirement before the cup started. She's done. Rapinoe, 38, spectacularly blew the kick in a penalty shootout following a scoreless 90 minutes and overtime. Sweden ended up winning the penalty shootout 5-4. As you see Benny Johnson chiming in, saying, "Eliminated by Sweden, anti-America, anti-women activist Rapinoe's embarrassing free kick here." You saw it in the beginning of this video. Trump chimes in. "The shocking and totally unexpected," sarcasm of course, "loss by the U.S. women's soccer team to Sweden is fully emblematic of what is happening to our once great nation under crooked Joe Biden. Many of our players were openly hostile to America. No other country behaved in such a manner, or even close. Woke equals failure." Yes, woke equals failure. End of story. Full stop. Yes. Nice shot, Megan. The U.S. is going to hell. MAGA. The loss to Sweden knocked the U.S. two-time defenders of the Cup out of the Australia games. And you know, I have no sympathy for her. This is a humbling experience for her. She needed this, definitely needed this. And here's a question they asked her, like, you know, reporters asked her following her final match with the team if there was a memory that stands out during her career with women's soccer or U.S. soccer. He said, rather than discussing a moment from her playing time, she answered, I mean, probably the equal pay chance after the 2019 final. Are you kidding me? After all those years playing, that's your memory? Not, my teammates and I did X, Y, and Z. Oh, overcoming this other opposing team. Maybe an injury that she had to work through while playing. None of that. Equal pay, which is, again, the garbage argument. There's, you know, so much you can say about that. And then she just goes on about, you know, BS. Anyway, I just want to put this out there. Wokeism is a disease. It's just something that should be avoided by both the right and the left. And, you know, this is the result of it. This is the result. You can see her face right here. This is the result of it. She is going down in the end as a loser. She lost. She should have won this. This was in the bag, so to speak. And she was so focused on all this activism, all this equal pay, shouting from the rooftops, getting award after award from the White House and all this stuff. You know, she wasn't focusing on what mattered most, what brought her here to notoriety in the first place, actually playing the game. Now, not to say that she didn't, you know, practice and prepare herself, but if she put all her energy towards practicing and preparing herself, not just physically, but mentally and with her team, she could have been still in this. As of this recording, she would have been in this and she would have possibly won another cup. But now she's ending it early, retiring with no gold, and that's it. And don't let all these publications say, the USA Today and Washington Post, fool you. No. This is how it's ending. This is how it's ending. Wokeism is a disease. It's a disease. Anyway, guys, thought I'd share this real quick. Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah. Take care.